some breezy conditions out there today. We have a look at what you can expect.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And last night when that snow started, it seemed like we were going to get pretty hard, but pretty much a dusting here.
Yeah, that's. I think the main thing was the wind. I mean, you got that snow coming down and just blew right away. So very difficult for that snow to really stick.
And those winds were tough.
Yeah, so we still have some of those winds this morning, Gary. Let's take a look at those current wind conditions right now. And I would say not as gusty as last night, but they're still blowing pretty good here. We got 12-mile-per-hour winds in Rome. We have 14-mile-per-hour sustained winds in Syracuse and 20 out in Buffalo. The brunt of where that wind is blowing right now. So overall, pretty breezy start to your day today. We'll be talking a bit more about how those winds are going to shape up as we head throughout the afternoon coming up in a few minutes. And because of that, you see those wind chills, depending on location, falling into the teens or single digits as you head up into the Adirondacks there. Yorkville Battery Live radar, we're not out of the woods with some light snow just yet today. In fact, we zoom out. We have some more snow that's slowly going to be approaching mainly the North Country. That's where the brunt of the accumulating snow will be taking place throughout the day today. But again, what are we tracking? Breezy conditions, accumulating snow mainly north, and we're also tracking some more rain and snow chances this week, and the overall trend toward potentially more winter-like weather. So today's highs will be climbing barely into the low 30s with mostly cloudy skies. As we head throughout the week, again, we'll be diving into the rain and snow chances and winds coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Happening today, Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Monday morning. Time now going on 5:12, and here's a look at what you can expect heading outside today in your forecast in a minute. Let's begin with the current conditions outside right now. 26 degrees with a decent northwesterly wind of 12 miles an hour. Feels like 16 out. So one of those mornings when you grab that extra layer, especially if you're taking the kids out to the bus stop. Sunrise 7:35. We are 10 minutes away from a post 5 p.m. sunset, so something to look forward to in the next coming weeks. A look at the roadways this morning, mainly quiet. There are still a few snow-covered roads. Even then, there's not a whole lot of snow on those roads, just as a heads up. So this morning, maybe budget a little bit of extra time, but this will not be a commute that will be very difficult. Yorkville Battery Live radar. We have a few snow showers to our west. We'll be closely tracking, but still today, the main thing will be some pretty decent wind gusts, not as strong as last night, but still somewhat strong throughout the day, and a few passing flurries and temperatures climbing into the low 30s. A typical wintertime January day out there today. We are tracking some warmer temperatures relatively, but will that last long? Or are we back into the thick of winter? We'll have the details on that coming up shortly. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Some new movies challenge the rain.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Monday morning, everybody. Today we are tracking some light snow showers, and that'll mainly impact areas north of the Thruway. We look at the radar and satellite. This is what we're looking at here on the larger scale. You see those lighter blues over the Great Lakes? That's just a weak disturbance in the atmosphere. I would barely call it a clipper, if that, and as it shifts its way south and east, it'll hit central New York, producing, again, some scattered light snow showers today. We zoom in right now, and we do have some lingering lake effect. The accumulation is still very negligible at this hour. Wind speeds have been the primary story overnight. So yes, we've had some snow, but that snow has just blown away with the strong winds. Now, we will be expecting winds to increase again this afternoon, not to the extent of what took place last night, but still a bit blustery out there today. Then as we head into tonight, the winds will weaken a little bit, and for much of Tuesday. But before that, it's going to return again as we head into Tuesday evening and Tuesday night. Mainly a south wind at play here, and that's going to drive in some slightly warmer temperatures. So a few things to mention: rainfall and snowfall outlooks this week, because it's basically a mixed bag of both. Today, I think it's just too cold for any rain to fall. By the time it would potentially fall, it's already dry out there. We are expecting a few rain showers to mix in as we head into Tuesday night, and same thing Wednesday night, with a better shot for that before colder air works in. And aside from early Thursday morning, we're back over to snow chances for the rest of the week. Now, the best time for snow is going to be Wednesday night, as that cold front later this week shifts its way into our area, and it drags in an area of low pressure, which I'll show you right here. So here's what happens today. Cloudy skies up north is where mainly that snowfall will take place. That'll continue throughout this afternoon and through this evening. Then by tomorrow morning, we start in the low 30s, climbing with potentially a few peaks of sunshine into the mid 30s, with the arrival of a system in the evening hours Tuesday, producing some wet snow in the hills and some rain chances before switching back over to wet snow in the Mohawk Valley heading into Tuesday night. Following that, Wednesday is going to be the warmest day of the next 7. At 2 p.m., there are a few light sprinkles. Overall, pretty warm day before we see that, as I mentioned, cold front work through in the process, dragging in that low pressure. We're going to see widespread snowfall overnight Wednesday into early Thursday morning. And of course, with that in mind, we're going to see those temperatures fall into the 20s by Thursday, eventually teens by Friday. It's going to be pretty much a return to winter time. Yes, we're not done with it just yet. We were mentioning the potential last week of that cool down, and while we do have this January thaws typically don't last too long. In this case right here, we're back into the low 30s, teens and 20s by the end of the week. But again, today, mainly that snowfall accumulating north here locally, barely any sticking to the ground.
Just like last night.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:21. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. As you went to bed last night, you probably heard those winds. I know I did. And Eric, luckily, they've died down.
Yeah, Gary, I drove in those winds last night. I think the main thing were some of the snow drifts. The snow was blowing sideways over some open fields last night. And today, well, we have some winds still continuing on. Let's take a look at the current wind speeds across the region. Not as strong as last night, but still a bit blustery out there today, bringing those wind chills down a few degrees. In fact, 16 officially in Rome right now. That feels like temperature. 23 heading down to Hamilton, 14 at Binghamton, 11 in Johnstown, and 2 degrees in Saranac Lake. Yorkville Battery Live radar, we have still some lingering snow showers this morning. Very low impact for the time being, but still we're tracking the arrival of more snow showers later on the day today, and that'll mainly accumulate in the North Country and the Tug Hill Plateau. So again, the main headlines today: it's a bit blustery, the snowfall today accumulating north, and we have more rain and snow chances throughout the remainder of the week this week. So again, today, a few snow showers, high temperatures climbing into the low 30s, just a little bit above freezing if we're lucky. But before that, we're going to be cooling back down below freezing tonight, and then a bit of a whiplash for temperatures. We go from the 30s, 20s, teens. We'll explain the trend of temperatures throughout the week coming up in a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, tensions are sharply rising.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Monday morning. I hope you all had a great weekend. It was a bit windy yesterday, a bit snowy, but other than that, we were treated some sunshine yesterday morning, that all too elusive sunshine. Either way, this morning, it's not too bad temperature-wise on paper. The wind chills, however, making it feel a little bit on the colder side. So just dress accordingly today. Make sure the kids heading out of the bus stop wear some slightly warmer coats, as the wind chill will be in the teens. Either way, we're tracking some snow today, but of course that mainly falls in areas to the north. When it comes to our photo of the day, the first one on this week, we take to Sullivan, and a great shot here of nature's garland. Look at that. I'm trying to figure out exactly how that formed. I'm guessing potentially of it refreezing, the winds pushing it off the railing there, but that's so cool. Just a little band of snow that hasn't fallen off yet. This was taken by Susan. And if you have one like this you'd like to share with us, showing the unique quirks of your area in terms of some snowfall or winter time, send it to the link right there in the top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. Your photo of the day every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
It's Wild Card Sunday in the NFL was...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Time now is 5:47. Happy Monday morning, everybody. Today, starting out a little blustery, but mainly quiet. A few flurries falling. Look at the bigger picture here, the radar and satellite. We are tracking the arrival of a weak disturbance to our northwest. Notice some of that snowfall heading up toward the Georgian Bay there, just north of Lake Huron. That'll be heading in our direction, and mainly the snowfall accumulating will be taking place north of the Thruway. I'll show you a snowfall map in a few minutes explaining where that snow is best going to be, again, accumulating here early today. The radar, though, picking up on some weak lake effect snow showers early this hour. Overall, though, it's a mainly quiet morning out there. The winds are going to pick up again as we head into the afternoon. Sustained winds, or excuse me, I should say wind gusts at around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Sustained winds about 15 or so miles an hour. So not as blustery as last night, but still it's going to make those wind chills feel a bit cooler. Then overnight tonight, it's going to be pretty quiet. Our next chance of some pretty strong winds will be mainly in the hills south of the Mohawk Valley, and that'll be a south wind taking place in the evening hours Tuesday through the overnight hours there. So this week we are favoring rain and snow chances. Our temperatures are going to hover right above the freezing point a few times this week. In terms of rainfall, our best shot for rain is going to be on Wednesday, although don't expect steady, consistent rain. More sputters of rain here and there before widespread snow works its way in. Then, when it comes to snowfall, as you can see here, our best shot for rain is our best shot for snow. Wednesday night, we have a cold front working in, and we have low pressure gliding along it, producing our best shot for snowfall there, which, again, I'll show you right here in just a minute. First, though, when it comes to accumulating snow today, this is a look at our snowfall map until 11 p.m. tonight. You notice here, Tug Hill seeing the most amount of snow. They got a couple of inches of accumulation north of the New York State Thruway throughout the day today. And of course, that barring the snow blowing away from the strong winds. So today, we've got that snow shifting its way north, some spotty snow showers north of the Thruway. Then by the overnight hours, it begins to fizzle out. Tomorrow morning, it's looking pretty quiet. In fact, some opportunity for some sunshine as we head into late morning and early afternoon. Then by Tuesday evening, we have some wet snow falling in the hills in the late evening and overnight, switching over to wet snow widespread across the area with some rain mixing in the lowest of elevations. Then Wednesday, it's our warmest day this week. We're in the 40s with a few light sprinkles across the area in the early afternoon. And then, of course, that cold air works in. It's wet snow as we head overnight and into Friday. And this will be the warmest time this week, as you can see here, following Wednesday. Thursday, we are in the 20s with some snow showers cooling down into the teens by Friday. Saturday looking pretty quiet, a high of 30 with a few more snow showers again on Sunday, also high of 30. So we have a warm up briefly, but we're back to some wintertime temperatures before we know it. So it's still January, Gary. We still have a few more months to go.
Yeah, a couple.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Well, Team USA is gearing up to go for
The news with Gary Lipitor and meteorologist Eric Gage.
It is 2026, isn't it?
Yeah, it's it's one of those things like when you're writing something, like you're writing a check or whatever, and you have to recreate that 5, make it look like a 6. You forgot it's already that year, but
We'll give January that little leeway. But
yes, so this is the breathing room here before we get the correct year on. But we have a bit of a breezy, cold one out there early today, Gary. Some snow today, but mainly north. In fact, let's dive into it right here. Look at your forecast. We look at the winds this morning. It's a bit blustery, especially as you head out toward Buffalo. 18-mile-per-hour sustained winds. It's a little bit less breezy in the last hour here in the Mohawk Valley. 17 miles an hour in Syracuse, but only 7 in Rome and 6 in Hamilton. So those wind chills still a bit chilly. We are in the teens right now, a single-digit wind chill heading up the Adirondack. So just dress accordingly early today. It's a bit cold out there. Yorkville Battery Live radar showing some light snow showers early today. We have some more snow approaching from the northwest. This will mainly fall north of the New York State Thruway, in fact, mainly north of the Mohawk Valley. So a couple of things today. It's a bit blustery out there. We are tracking some accumulating snow north. This will be the North Country, Tug Hill. But following that, we have more rain and snow chances this week. It's a mixed bag of rain and snow. We're going to dive into what days see what and when wintertime might officially make its return again, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Happening today, Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado will be making
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Time now is going on 6:12, and here's a look at your forecast in a minute as you head out to work today. First, we begin with the current temperature outside right now, sitting at 26 degrees officially at Griffis and Rome, with a west-southwest wind of 7 miles an hour, bringing that feels-like temperature down into the teens. Dew point of 19, so the air is a little dry out there today. Just as a heads up, might have maybe some chapped lips or whatnot with that dry air present. When it comes to roadways, main roads are clear. They are treated. Should have no issues driving on them. Side roads might be a little snow covered depending on where you are. So a heads up for that. Budget maybe an extra few minutes heading out if you live in some outlying areas. When it comes to the radar, for now it's mostly quiet, but you can see here we have some snow slowly approaching from the west, and that'll be our main story today, along with the fact that winds will be a bit blustery as well. Sustained winds around 13 to 15 miles an hour and wind gusts around 20 to 25 miles an hour. So not very strong, but still, again, a bit blustery. Today's highs in the low 30s. We are looking at some warmer temperatures toward the middle of the week, but will that last that long? We'll have the full forecast for you coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Some new movies challenge the reigning champ.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Monday morning, time going on 6:18, and hope you all enjoyed your weekend. We got to see some sunshine, although didn't last too long before the snow worked in yesterday. But today we have more opportunities for snow. We'll look at radar and satellites. Much of that snowfall will be accumulating, however, mainly north of the New York State Thruway as you head up toward the Tug Hill Plateau and the Adirondacks. So show the snowfall map here momentarily. But you can see that snow starting to work its way in from the northwest. At least for now, though, early this morning, it's relatively quiet. Just watch out for some outlying roadways that might be snow covered, or maybe a few icy spots here and there that hasn't melted all too much just yet. So either way, expect some cold and breezy conditions this morning. As we head throughout the morning today, the winds will strengthen, not as strong as yesterday, just as a disclaimer here, but it's still going to be a bit breezy. We head throughout the overnight, it quiets down. Tuesday looking mainly quiet until more winds return again as we head into Tuesday evening and Tuesday night. And when it comes to rain and snow the next few days, it's a mixed bag, and we'll dive into the rain chances here. First off, today, basically none. It's almost all snow showers, if any, today. Tuesday, a lot of this will take place, any rainfall in the evening after sunset. Wednesday, pretty widespread, but it's very light. A few sprinkles here and there. And then early Thursday, potentially, this might shift to none depending on how soon that front moves in. When it comes to snowfall, however, just the same as the rain chances Wednesday as the snow. This time it's going to be a bit more impactful in terms of snow in the area Wednesday night into Thursday morning. In fact, let's just dive into it here. So to start, here's the snow expected today. Trace to 2 inches for areas south of Tug Hill and the Adirondacks here. Tug Hill will see the most amount of snow, between 4 and 7 inches throughout the next 12 or so hours until 11 p.m. tonight. Then when it comes to the rest of the days ahead, you can see here the snow will be largely on the wet side, with the temperatures hovering right around the freezing point here. So there's that snowfall today. Again, a whole lot of it mainly falls north. Then tomorrow we have an opportunity for some sunshine late morning and early afternoon before more clouds work their way in, and by the evening we have the arrival of some wet snow in the hilltops and a few sprinkles in the valley, turning a bit more on the heavier side once that front rolls through around 8:30. You can see here maybe a bit of a wintry mix in the valley, but it's a mainly wet snow event for areas north and south of the Mohawk Valley. Then Wednesday it warms up. We're in the 40s. Expect a few spotty sprinkles here and there. Then as we head into the evening and overnight, that widespread snow begins to move in, and that'll set the stage for a colder temperature trend following Wednesday into Thursday and the rest of the week here. You see here 26 Thursday, 19 degrees on Friday, and remaining in the 30s by Saturday and Sunday. So yes, we're seeing a taste of thawing again, but it won't be lasting long. Still, the common trend points toward a colder than average second half of January. And so it's still winter time, Gary, and we still have plenty more weeks to go.
Yeah, at least no major storms in the forecast right now.
Nothing major.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. As you went to bed last night, you probably heard those winds. I know I did. And Eric, again, luckily they've died down, but still a little bit of wind out there.
Yeah, that's right, Gary. Right now, the current winds, 7-10 miles an hour, nothing like last night. We're going to be expecting a return to them today, but again, still a bit weaker. We take a look at the wind speeds across the area right now. As you can see here, 7 miles per hour in Rome, 5 miles per hour in Hamilton. So that's just a light wind according to wind standards here. A lot more in terms of windy conditions out in Buffalo right now, 23 miles per hour, not even including those wind gusts. So today, due to those winds, temperatures, or feels like temperatures, are falling into the teens. So just dress accordingly today. It's a bit chilly out there. There are a few icy spots, and there's some still snow-covered surfaces on some roads, especially those roads that are less traveled. The main roads this morning are clear, plowed, and treated. So what we're looking at the radar right now is some light snow showers through the Mohawk Valley. If you are seeing them, they're barely doing anything in terms of accumulation. However, to our west, we are tracking the arrival of more snow showers, and these will mainly impact areas north of the New York State Thruway, along with, of course, the breezy conditions expected today. We have more rain and snow chances as we approach the middle of the week, but will this last long? I know we've had a very busy last few months weather-wise, and we do have some melting taking place as early as tomorrow through Wednesday, but wintertime might make its return sooner rather than later. We'll dive into the temperature trend as well as what you can expect in a lot more detail throughout the day today, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Tensions.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. Today's temperatures beginning in the 20s and teens out there today. Wind chills bringing those down a little bit colder. So just dress accordingly this morning. Make sure your kids are dressed warmly too, as today's highs will climb into the 30s, but the winds this afternoon will keep those wind chills down even colder than that. So aside from the wind chills and the temperatures, it's looking to be a bit quiet today with some snow showers north. We'll, of course, have that snowfall forecast for you coming up in a couple of minutes. But, of course, it's that time of the morning, your photo of the day. This one takes us to the town of Sullivan, and a great shot right here of nature's garland. This is a pretty interesting feat here of looks to be a snow-covered railing dipping down and still holding together, which is pretty surprising to me. So amazing shot right here sent in by Susan. And if you have one like this to showcase your neck of the woods, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Your photo of the day every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Team USA is gearing up to go for gold.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Monday, everybody. Time now is 6:49, and we begin today with chilly conditions, a light wind, and pretty quiet for now. We look at the radar and satellite. We are tracking the arrival of some more snow showers today. This time, that snow will mainly impact areas north of the New York State Thruway today in terms of any notable accumulations. We'll, of course, show that snowfall map here in a second. First, let's zoom in, though, on the radar. Live scans here at 6:49, where you can see just some light snow showers passing over us. The current conditions outside right now, main roads are plowed and treated. Side roads and back roads might have a light layer of snow on them. But there are some icy spots on untreated surfaces just to look ahead to this morning. So when you head outside this morning, just look out for some icy spots out there early today. The winds are one of the main stories this morning throughout the afternoon, but it's not going to be that strong, just enough to keep those wind chills down into the teens for much of the day today. Wind speeds and wind gusts going as high as 15 to 20 miles per hour there. By tomorrow, though, it's looking pretty quiet until tomorrow night when that wind returns again, mainly from the south, right after sunset. So the next few days, we've got a mixed bag of weather. We have rain and snow chances as temperatures climb above freezing both days. So we can see here our best shot for rain will be Wednesday, but keep in mind, it doesn't mean steady rain. It just means our best shot for it. I'm thinking more of a light sprinkle throughout the day Wednesday with a better shot for widespread snow Wednesday nights. And I'll explain why here coming up in a second. In the meantime, snowfall expected today, trace to 2 inches for much of the area here, including the southern valleys, mainly closer to the trace side of that. Much of that snowfall will accumulate in the North Country and especially Tug Hill, where that 4 to 7 inch range is expected. So that's what takes place today. Let's look at the next few days. So starting out this afternoon, light snow passing mainly north of the Thruway today. Then by tonight, it winds down. Tomorrow, we might actually see some opportunity for sunshine, especially south of the New York State Thruway. And then that'll set the stage for a cold front moving in with some snow and rain chances, elevation dependent, as you can see right here. Green in the valley, blue indicating wet snow in the hills. Then it remains pretty quiet before we're going to see a few light sprinkles throughout the day. Wednesday, high of 41. And then a cold front works through, but in the process, area of low pressure glides right along it, and we have widespread wet snowfall overnight into early Thursday morning. And of course, that cold front is going to be what ushers in more winter-like weather. We're back into the 20s by Thursday, 19 by Friday, and still in the 30s by Saturday and Sunday. But it's one of those fronts that reminds us that we are still in January and we are still in the thick of winter time. So it's going to be quite a while before we're going to see that common trend to warmer temperatures, at least for now. Second half of January, cooler than average and potentially a little more busy weather-wise.
It's already January 12th, though.
Yeah, so we're slowly approaching the end of winter time, slowly.
Eric, thanks. Well, in Washington, the meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, a lot quieter this morning than last night's winds. Those were something else.
Yeah, that's right. Things are a little breezy, but again, nothing like we saw last night. Buffalo, though, still seeing some of those winds. Look at that, Gary. So here locally, 7 miles per hour in Rome, 9 miles per hour in Hamilton, 13 miles per hour in Johnstown. So yes, a bit blustery out there, but not too bad. Of course, unless you were out in the western New York area, where Rochester and Buffalo seeing 22 to 28 mile per hour winds, sustained winds, that is, wind gusts around 40 miles per hour. So western New York, very blustery out there. Still a little breezy here locally, but again, nothing like what's taking place out to our west. When it comes to conditions right now, Yorkville Battery Live Radar, we're starting to see some snow showers move through I-81 heading into Tug Hill. Eventually, a lot more of the North Country are going to be seeing these snow showers. Now, yes, we're going to see a few flurries here and there for a lot of central New York, but the accumulating snow will mainly stay north of the Mohawk Valley. That's what we're expecting that to be falling. So again, today, temperatures barely hitting the low 30s. Tonight, a few flurries here and there in the Mohawk Valley. Again, that steadier snow staying to our north. As we head in the next few days, we have the potential for some rain and snow chances, a mixed bag of weather before wintertime might make its return again. Yes, we're talking snow right now, but true winter weather, colder and snowier. The details on that straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Over the weekend, anti-ice.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. On this Monday, we started out a little snowy, at least last night, and a little icy in some spots, with the radar and satellite showing more snow on the way. This will mainly be impacting the North Country. If you live in the southern valleys, not so much in terms of snowfall is expected, even in the Mohawk Valley itself. Yes, we could see some snow falling from the sky, but it won't really amount to much accumulating on the ground. So this was a view way up in the sky. Let's zoom in here into the Mohawk Valley here, where you can see generally quiet. Of course, snow showers starting to fall around the Tug Hill Plateau right now, and then of course it'll become a bit more widespread north of the Utica-Rome area toward the afternoon and evening. Live look at our tower cam overlooking the city of Utica right now. Generally cloudy. It's a dry day so far today for the most part. So it's I wouldn't call it damp and gloomy. Yes, it is a bit cloudy, but just a bit breezy too. And that's the main factor today. Winds will be picking up, especially as we head into the evening. Wind gusts between 25 and 30 miles per hour, which is not that strong, but it's enough to remind you how cold it is. Those wind chills likely falling back down into the teens for a lot of the area. Winds will weaken a little bit tomorrow, but by tomorrow evening, they will mainly be focused in the hills south of the Mohawk Valley due to those south winds kicking in. So you can see here 9-mile-an-hour gusts in Utica, nearly 30 in Morrisville and Cooperstown. So just a reminder about the wind differences when it comes to these south winds. Now let's talk rain and snow, because we have chances for both the next few days. Our best shot for rain on Wednesday, but even then that rainfall will be light and I would say, for a lack of a better word, sputtery, where it goes on and off throughout the day and it's very light. In terms of snowfall, though, our best shot for widespread snow is going to be Wednesday night into Thursday. A cold front sweeps its way east and it collides with an area of low pressure gliding along it, bringing our best shot for widespread snow, which, of course, we'll get to here in a second. This is the snowfall expected today through 7 p.m. Tonight, and likely through the overnight hours here. Not a whole lot of snow, 4 to 6 inches in the red zone there, but that's really about it in terms of the bullseye. As you head farther out, trace to 2 inches. Even then, here in the Mohawk Valley and south, it's going to be very difficult to find that accumulation to stick around. So in our Skycast today, there's that snowfall. It's light, maybe moderate briefly here and there in the North Country. It'll end by Tuesday morning. It's pretty quiet. In fact, Tuesday morning to Tuesday afternoon, we have some opportunity for some sunshine to peek out here. So not too bad of a morning out there for Tuesday. Highs approach near 40 with a few sprinkles mixing into the Mohawk Valley, some wet snow in the hilltops as a round of snow moves in the evening. This won't last long, enough to potentially coat the roads in those less traveled higher elevations. Then Wednesday, as I mentioned, best shot for rain, although you can see here, not impressive in terms of rainfall amounts. It's light, not very high rainfall totals until we head into the overnight when that widespread wet snow moves its way in from that low pressure. So following Wednesday, once that cold front moves in, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to see a wave back into reality here with more January-like conditions. High of 26 Thursday, high of 19 Friday, and yes, we're in the 30s this weekend with some sunshine chances Saturday, but overall the common trend toward the second half of January still holding. It's going to be a bit colder, maybe a bit more active in terms of winter systems here, but for now, we have a little bit of a thaw before we dive right back into wintertime again.
All in all, not too bad.
Not too bad, Gary.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Yeah, that's for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, Boilermaker registration dates reporting from Washington today. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, the winds have subsided since last night, but still a bit of them out there.
Yeah, in fact, here's the wind chill right now, which is affecting us a little bit, but either way, it's not too bad out there. Let's take a look at the wind chills. We're at 26 in Rome, 23 Hamilton, 17 heading out to Buffalo where those winds are very strong out there. But either way, 18 in Johnstown, 23 in Ithaca. An overall pretty cold and breezy day outside today. And you can see these wind speeds relatively blustery out there. It's mainly the wind gusts that are very strong out in western New York. We head out toward Hamilton at 16 miles an hour. 22 in Johnstown, so enough to at least produce a decently cool wind chill, but at least today it's, by January standards, relatively quiet. So the radar right now showing dry conditions here in the Mohawk Valley, some snow showers heading into the North Country. This will mainly impact the North Country today, and that's really about it in terms of any accumulating snow. Yes, we could see a trace amount of snow here and there in the areas south of the New York State Thruway, but besides that, it's going to be relatively unimpactful. A few flurries continuing overnight, ending as we head into early tomorrow, even some sunshine opportunities. But then we have rain and snow chances, and then a cool down on the way. A return back to January-like conditions. Details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A major new development in the murders of a dentist and his wife.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are tracking the arrival of some snow showers, mainly north and pretty much north of the Mohawk Valley. Let's dive into it. Radar and satellite right here showing some snow showers working their way in right now. They were over the Great Lakes, Lake Huron earlier this morning, now mainly directly along the border of New York State and Canada right here. But for the most part today, this snow will generally fall in the North Country. There could be some snow showers or flurries falling south, but for the most part, that's where the highest impact zone will be. Even then, impacts aren't really that high aside from Tug Hill. Yorkville Battery Live radar showing, of course, as you can see here, mainly quiet conditions in the valley itself. It's cloudy, but a little blustery out there so far today. The winds will be at least increasing as we head into this evening. going as high with gusts as high as 25 to 30 miles per hour. So not that strong, but enough to remind you how cold it is with some of those wind chills. Then the winds will weaken a little bit overnight and then return again tomorrow from the south, mainly impacting the hills south of the Mohawk Valley. So Route 20, maybe sections of Route 5 here might be a little blustery if you're driving a high-profile vehicle. This is a heads up for tomorrow. Now that's with winds out of the way. When it comes to rain and snow showers, we have some opportunity for both the next few days. Mainly Wednesday. And Wednesday's rainfall, actually, despite it being the most likely chance to see it, will be very light in nature with a few sprinkles. But it's Wednesday night into Thursday morning where we really start to see our best shot for widespread snowfall, and that'll be coming with an area of low pressure later on again Wednesday. We'll dive into that here shortly. First, though, here's a look at our snowfall map for tonight, this afternoon through tonight, and into early tomorrow morning. Generally speaking, not a whole lot of snow accumulating, and a lot of that trace of 2 inches here factors in what takes place north of the New York State Thruway. So today, you can see here, much of that snowfall consisting north of Utica. Then by early tomorrow, it dries up. In fact, tomorrow in the late morning, early afternoon, we could see some peaks of sunshine here as that south wind carries in some warmer temperatures, pushing near 40 before we see the arrival of a weak frontal boundary, producing some rain in the Mohawk Valley and some wet snow in the hilltops to work back down to a wintry mix in the Mohawk Valley by, say, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Very brief round. Then it dries up again before we have the arrival of a few more light sprinkles heading into Wednesday afternoon. But either way, temperatures are climbing into the low 40s, so very warm, at least warmer than average day out there for Wednesday. Then a cold front sweeps eastward. This low pressure glides right along, and it allows wet snow to start to fall widespread across the area, and that'll be our best shot for accumulating wet snowfall in the next few days, and that'll take place mainly overnight, leading to potentially some slushy spots, mainly in higher elevations by Thursday morning. And speaking of Thursday morning, you can see here we are in a gradual warming trend until Thursday. Then it's back to reality. We're at 26 degrees Thursday, 19 the high Friday, both days lows in the teens, and then by the weekend in the 30s, but overall still hovering below freezing as we enter back to a more typical January setup here. So a couple more days of thawing, and then we got some snow on the way again.
And some sunshine.
Yes, there'll be some sunshine here and there. It won't be completely cloudy. That's the good news.
Be nice to see. Eric, thanks. Well, Team USA's
Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Pretty quiet day today. We're going to see temperatures slowly warm up over the next 2 days. So we're going to get another very slow thaw here in central New York before colder weather inevitably returns. We are tracking a couple of snow showers out there tonight. Little accumulation is expected, and this will continue to move through central New York into the early evening. Our temperature is 32 degrees. Might have noticed a little bit of twilight now at 5 o'clock. The sunset times are getting later and later. In fact, next week it will be our first 5 o'clock sunset of the year. The weather looks quiet tonight. Tomorrow we are tracking a little bit of a January thaw. Not quite as warm as earlier last week, but still we'll get close to 40 degrees, and it does look like the weather is going to change. Inevitably, snow and cold weather do return as we head later into the week. Flurries out there this evening, temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. Again, tracking some warmer weather ahead along with a cool down. A look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Development news in the town of Schuyler. There could be a buyer for Dave's Diner on Route 5.
And the restaurant closed its doors in September after 35 years in business. The owner retired. There's a planning board meeting tomorrow.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We're tracking cloudy skies and a slow warm-up over the next couple of days. We do get a break in the weather, but it's not going to last long. By later this week, we're tracking cold and snow. Live look in downtown Utica. Notice some twilight. Now that we're in the middle part of January, we are starting to notice more daylight, both in the morning and also in the evening. It's taken a little bit longer to see the mornings change. The evenings have been getting brighter, and it's about 20 minutes of extra sunshine, or at least extra light at the end of the day compared to this time last month. Be careful on untreated surfaces. Black ice continues to be an issue as we're above freezing during the day and below freezing at night. It was pretty bad yesterday morning across many areas. So even if the weather is quiet, there are things to watch here. The morning times could feature black ice about every morning going forward. If we do get any black ice and it's as significant as it was yesterday, our plan is to issue custom weather alerts on our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. It's always handy to have, not only for current weather information, but also for those extra warnings that we'll provide. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A couple of flurries in the air this evening. It is not expected to cause much accumulation at all, just a dusting here as this very slow lake effect continues to wind down. Temperatures are in the low 30s this evening. Dolgeville 32, Westernville 33, Deansboro 31, across Southern Valleys, Sherburne 34, Morris 34, Cooperstown 32. The winds are going to be around tomorrow. With the winds turning into the south, this is primarily a stronger wind along higher elevations south of Utica. We see this a lot in the wintertime. That south wind tends to be twice as strong in the hilltops in southern Oneida County and southern Herkimer County compared to the Mohawk Valley. That will be the case tomorrow. Could see wind gusts as high as 40 miles an hour. Wednesday, again, the same general idea. The winds come from the southwest. In the Mohawk Valley, the winds are relatively light, but the hilltop locations could see wind gusts up to about 25 to 30 miles an hour. The winds pick up as we head into Thursday and Friday as colder weather works in from the west, but not seeing anything strong or anything damaging here in the next several days. Our weather patterns continue to come in from the west. Again, some light snow showers today. We'll get a break in the weather tomorrow. Snow showers come to an end tonight. Cloudy skies remain, overnight lows in the upper 20s. It remains cloudy for the majority of the day tomorrow. There could be a few breaks in the overcast from time to time, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. We do climb to near 40, so we'll call it a January thaw. Tomorrow night, a few rain and snow showers. And then on Wednesday, cloudy skies, on and off rain showers mixed in with some snow showers. We're looking ahead to Thursday. That's going to be our best chance of snow. A low pressure moves through, and at this point, it looks like a couple of inches. Doesn't look like a big snowfall, but again, things could change depending on how this storm tracks. It is something we'll be watching. It looks like the steadiest of that falls Thursday afternoon. Tonight, cloudy, low of 29. Tomorrow, cloudy skies. Again, could see some snow showers late, a high of 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain, snow showers Wednesday, 40. Colder Thursday, 26. Snow showers. Friday, looking at mostly cloudy skies. Cold, 19. Cloudy skies over the weekend. Temperatures in the 20s heading into Sunday and Monday.
All right, Bill, thank you.
We're already talking about a week from now, and I'm like,
It's black ice tonight.
Yeah, be careful if you're heading out over the next couple of nights as we fall below freezing after being above freezing during the day. We get into these situations where we get black ice. It was pretty bad yesterday morning, and it doesn't take a lot of weather to do that. Just be mindful that untreated surfaces could become very, very slippery. Sidewalks, driveways, parking lots, even sometimes roads, even sometimes main roads can succumb to this. But again, it's something we'll be keeping an eye on over the next couple of days. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Some light snow showers and flurries in the air this evening. A little accumulation is expected. We'll climb above freezing over the next couple of days, close to 40 tomorrow and Wednesday. We do have colder weather in the future. Thursday and Friday, some cold days will be below freezing during the day, so no black ice issues then. We'll be back to near freezing by Saturday. If you're taking the dog out for a walk this evening, it's actually a pretty decent evening to get out. But again, watch out for some icy spots. Tonight's featured dog is Winston from Frankfort. And if you want to be part of this, head to Facebook. Search for Skycast WKTV. This is brought to you by Nissan. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The Utica Zoo is celebrating 2 new arrivals. A white...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking a pretty quiet night tonight. Just a few light snow showers and flurries out there. A little accumulation is expected. A live look in Oneonta, temperature of 30 degrees. Just be mindful of untreated surfaces. We saw a very slow thaw today, especially in the lower elevations. Now that we fall below freezing tonight, some of those untreated surfaces could turn slippery. Could get some patchy black ice. It was very problematic yesterday morning, so we're just kind of on edge here as we continue to get into this thaw-freeze cycle over the next couple of days. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, it's pretty quiet out there. We are seeing some light snow showers and flurries. This will amount to very little as we head into tonight as it moves to the east. Check on the snowfall stats for the city of Utica. We stand at 68.3 inches. We did pick up a half an inch of snowfall yesterday. Our departure is still way above average, but if you've been watching us over the past couple of weeks, this number has actually been going down. We were as high as close to 32 to 33 inches above average. Now we're down to 25, and that's just because it's been a relatively quiet week of January weather here. And if we don't get snow on a consistent basis, we do start to trail because we are in the peak of the snow season. Usually late December through late January is when we have the most amount of snowfall on a regular basis. Again, that's just the averages here. Of course, every year is a little bit different. Sometimes the snowiest month can be March, but most of the time it's January, just because it's the coldest time of the year. Skywatchers checking in. Clinton 33, Barneveld 28, Micah New Hartford 33, Cassville 31, Norway 31, Inlet 24, Old Forge Bill with 25. Across the Southern Valleys, Frank and Paynes Hollow 31, Westford Dave 30 degrees, Scott and Edmonston with 32. A weak disturbance moving through tonight, again, just producing a couple of snow showers and flurries. It's been steadier snow to the north today with some lingering lake effects, but again, that will stay out of central New York, at least the Mohawk Valley. Heading into tonight and tomorrow, the weather patterns look pretty quiet. No big storms on the horizon. The next one we'll be tracking will be on Thursday as it moves in from the west. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 20s. The clouds remain stubborn as usual. Temperatures will be in the low 30s in the morning. We'll climb into the upper 30s to near 40 tomorrow afternoon. The weather remains dry. We could see a few light snow showers tomorrow night. The weather on Wednesday warms up. We're expecting highs to be close to 40 degrees Wednesday afternoon with a few rain and snow showers. On Thursday, that's when things start to change. A slow-moving cold front moves in from the west. Low pressure develops along it, and it produces widespread snow. And at this point, it looks like a general 2 to 5 inches of accumulation with most of this falling Thursday afternoon. Not a big one, but again, something we'll have to watch because these things can change and steer in a different direction at the last minute. Right now, the heaviest snow looks to fall north and west of central New York. Cloudy tonight, low of 29. Tomorrow, temperatures climb to near 40. Cloudy skies. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain, snow showers Wednesday, 40. Snow Thursday, 26. It's cold Friday. We're down to 19. Temperatures are back into the 30s Saturday and then into the 20s here as we look ahead to Sunday and Monday. We'll be right back.
Forecast tonight at 6 with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Few snow showers and flurries in the air this evening. Not a big deal. It's going to be a pretty quiet night tonight across central New York. We made it into the low 30s this afternoon. It is going to be warmer here over the next couple of days relative to today. 31 degrees, the current temperature, light northwest wind at 3 miles an hour. Again, all things considered, a pretty nice January day. The weather is going to change. It stays quiet tonight. Temperatures warm up tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Will be close to 40 degrees, so the snow will continue to very slowly melt, especially in the lower elevations. We're tracking snow and colder weather as we head later into this week. It looks like Thursday will be the day where things start to change and it'll feel a lot more like the middle of winter again. Flurries this evening, temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. Again, watch out for a few slippery spots tonight as we fall below freezing. We are tracking some colder weather ahead. A look at the forecast that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. One woman is dead and a man in critical condition after a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are continuing to watch the temperatures tonight as they fall below freezing. That will allow for any untreated surfaces to freeze over. It could cause some black ice tonight. This is a live look in downtown Utica. Other than that, the weather's pretty quiet. We had a couple of flurries in the air this evening. Those have generally come to an end. Can't rule out a flurry or two tonight, but little accumulation is expected. Let's talk sunset times. 5 o'clock will become brighter over the next couple of weeks, and it will become noticeably brighter. We're only 10 days away from the first 5 o'clock sunset of the year, and that will be the case here going forward. We'll see brighter days ahead. We're about 8 weeks away from the clock change. believe it or not, and that means we'll get that extra hour at the end of the day at the expense of the beginning of the day. Quick check of the stats for the city of Utica. We picked up a half an inch yesterday, putting us up to 68.3 inches on the season, which is way ahead of average. But at least in the short term, we've actually been running a deficit in the last week for a change. This number was actually a lot higher this time last week. It's been a relatively quiet week in January. You take them as they come. It does look like, looking ahead, we'll have more chances for snow, specifically on Thursday. Skywatchers checking in. Bob and Clinton, 33 degrees. Helen and Cassville, 31. Barneveld, 28. Norway, 31. Inlet, 24. Jeff and Mohawk, 32. Worcester, Carroll with 31 degrees. Scott and Edmonston, 32. Bigger picture shows pretty quiet weather today. We had some lake effect snow to the north, but it's been generally out of our area. We've been seeing some light snow showers from time to time. The weather in general climbs above freezing, and we're going to get into this quiet weather pattern for the short term. Tonight, overnight lows in the upper 20s. It's cloudy throughout the day tomorrow. We may get a few breaks of sunshine in the afternoon and evening. Temperatures will be close to 40 degrees. Brief round of rain and snow showers tomorrow night, little accumulation. Temperatures fall into the low 30s. Wednesday, we're above freezing again. We're tracking some rain and snow showers. Looks like the best chance of snow this week is going to be Thursday afternoon. We're tracking a cold front moving in from the west with low pressure developing along it. This is expected to bring snow. At this point, 2 to as much as 5 inches is in the cards of snow accumulation, but it could change. We're still a few days out here. It looks like the steadiest, heaviest snow, at least from the state perspective, would fall in northern and western New York. Again, we'll continue to keep an eye on the latest trends. Cloudy tonight, low of 29. Tomorrow, cloudy, mild, temperatures close to 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Brief round of rain and snow showers tomorrow night. Same for Wednesday, a high of 40. Thursday, tracking snow, 26. It's a lot colder Friday, down to 19 for the high temperature. We're into the teens and single digits at night. Saturday, cloudy, 33. Temperatures in the low 20s Sunday and Monday.
Thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. First look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, and I want to talk about the black ice that we're dealing with, because we've had a lot of that lately because of the up and down temperatures we've been getting.
Yesterday morning in particular was really bad. It even got on the main roads for a little while. So I don't know if it'll be, I don't expect it to be quite as bad as Sunday morning, but still, just be mindful. We're in that time of the year where you get temperatures above freezing like today, you fall below freezing tonight, and you can get some patchy black ice. Again, it's very problematic on untreated surfaces, especially driveways, sidewalks, and parking lots. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A couple of snow showers to the north. These will drop in, giving us a few flurries, but it's a fairly quiet night tonight. We're not expecting much accumulation. 31 degrees, the current temperature. Again, a couple of snow showers tonight. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet heading through tomorrow. A slow snow melt continues through Wednesday. Things change, and it begins Thursday. Snow on the way, cold weather to follow. A pretty active finish to the week weather-wise. Cloudy tonight, snow showers, a few flurries. Temperatures will fall below freezing. Tracking above freezing temperatures again for the next couple of days. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Last Friday, we brought you the story of the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. It's a pretty quiet night across central New York, at least for now. We are watching the radar pretty closely. There are a few snow showers out there, especially to the north and west. Some of this will drop south and east, and we will see a coating of snow overnight. I don't expect this to cause any big issues, and a lot of this will be long gone before the morning commute. So coating of snow overnight, and then we'll get a chance to warm up. This first part of January has been very different compared to the first part of December. December, the first 12 days have been 9.6 degrees below average. The first 12 days of January have been 4 degrees above average. In fact, it's been warmer by about 5 degrees overall during this time. So, I mean, who would have thought that January would be warmer than December? That's the way it's been trending so far. We have a long way to go but we'll see how things turn out. So if you look at the projected winds, tomorrow we do have a little bit of a thaw taking place, and it's due to a south wind. So that wind tends to be stronger along higher elevations south of the Mohawk Valley. These places could see wind gusts up to about 40 miles an hour tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. The winds look relatively light across the Mohawk Valley, but they will be noticeable along higher elevations over the next couple of days. So we look at the radar and satellite image. There's a very weak disturbance moving through tonight. Again, a couple of light snow showers. This passes through. Temperatures will be drop down into the upper 20s. We'll start out tomorrow morning with clouds, and it's a relatively quiet day. Temperatures climb above freezing. Will be close to 40 degrees. Brief round of snow showers tomorrow night. Again, a little accumulation here. On Wednesday, temperatures warm up to near 40. We'll have rain and snow showers. Again, this precipitation looks fairly light. Once again, we'll be well above freezing. We are watching Thursday for the potential of accumulating snow. At this point, it's roughly 2 to 5 inches of accumulation with the heaviest snow north and west of central New York. Things could still change. We're in that window where they often do. We are tracking the trend where the storm is going to go, and if it's going to strengthen or weaken at the last minute or head out to sea. Again, things that we're still trying to figure out at this point. But it looks like it's a pretty good bet we'll see at least some snow, followed by a sharp drop in temperature. Cloudy tonight, low of 29. Tomorrow, looking at cloudy skies, mild for this part in January, high of 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain, snow showers Wednesday, high of 40. Widespread snow Thursday, 26. It is colder. We're down into the teens Friday, single digits at night. But we bounce back into the 30s on Saturday. Light snow Sunday, cold weather heading into Monday.
So back to our typical winter.
Ups and downs. Nothing crazy cold or crazy warm.
And not a lot of snow.
Yeah.
So we'll take it. Thank you, Bill. Coming up next, we'll look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. We've been talking about the temperatures up and down for several days now. And we've been on almost a black ice alert every day since, right?
Yeah, we've been dealing with this quite a bit. In fact, Sunday morning was probably the worst that I've seen in a long time, where it actually got on the road. So just got to be careful this time of the year. As we get into this freeze-thaw cycle, we'll be dealing with this pretty much every morning here as temperatures get above freezing. And again, your biggest concern with black ice is untreated surfaces. So long as the surfaces are treated, it won't be an issue, but again, it's something that can sneak up on you. Live look at the Eric Field Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking a couple of snow showers out there this evening. We could see a very light accumulation overnight, but we are looking at a temperature of 31 degrees, so we're below freezing after climbing above freezing today. So a pretty quiet day tomorrow. A slow snow melt is expected tomorrow and into Wednesday. We are tracking rain changing to snow Wednesday night and Thursday, followed by much colder weather Friday. So there's going to be a pretty dramatic change in the weather later this week. Tonight, cloudy skies, again, some flurries out there, some snow showers, temperatures in the upper 20s. We're tracking some mild weather in the short term, but again, some changes on the horizon. We'll look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Last Friday, we brought
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We're looking at pretty quiet conditions tonight. A live look in downtown Utica, at least for now. I do expect to see some light snow start to fly across central New York. We've got a weak disturbance moving in from the northwest, and this is expected to produce a coating of snow overnight, less than an inch of accumulation region-wide. But again, if you're going to be heading out in the next hour or two, don't be surprised if there's some snow that moves through central New York here. It's relatively short-lived. There's not a lot here, and this is moving pretty quickly. So again, accumulation should be relatively small. But again, that'll be around first thing tomorrow morning. Let's compare the start of January versus the start of December. It's been dramatically different. December started out very, very cold, 9.6 inches below average temperature-wise. First 12 days of January have been relatively mild. We've had this January thaw. It's been 4 degrees above average. In fact, when you just compare them straight out, it's been about 5 degrees warmer in January than in December, at least for the first 12 days. Yeah. That's very unusual, and it also shows you how weather can be sometimes. You can't just assume that just because it starts out cold in December, it's going to be cold throughout the entire winter. That often is not the case. Let's talk about the wind tomorrow. South wind kicks in. That means it's going to be strong along hilltops south of the Mohawk Valley. Wind gusts could be as high as 40 miles an hour in southern Oneida, southern Herkimer County. The wind isn't quite as strong in the Mohawk Valley. The winds will be relatively light heading into Wednesday before they pick up Thursday. Again, this quick hitting disturbance rolls through tonight. Behind it, the weather looks pretty quiet. We are expecting a relatively quiet stretch of weather here tomorrow. Again, that burst of snow overnight, temperatures will climb into, or will fall into the upper 20s. We'll climb into the upper 30s to near 40 tomorrow. Clouds look to remain very stubborn and it looks generally dry. A burst of snow is expected tomorrow evening. Again, just like tonight, a light accumulation is expected. On Wednesday, we're above freezing again, looking at high temperatures close to 40 degrees. Wednesday night into Thursday, low pressure rolls through, and this produces rain that turns over to snow. And the early projections do bring accumulating snow to central New York. It looks like the heaviest will be north and west, but at this point, perhaps 2 to 5 inches of accumulation Wednesday night into Thursday, with most of this falling early Thursday. We'll keep you posted on this. We'll have updates as we get closer. Cloudy skies tonight, a low of 29. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, mild temperatures near 40. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Rain turns to snow Wednesday night, a high of 40. Again, snow is expected early Thursday, followed by cold and windy weather, rolling in the teens on Friday, but we bounce back to the 30s Saturday, light snow on Sunday.
So the roller coaster continues, is what you're saying?
It sure does, yeah.
Well, that's part of winter. All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next.